The Council of Races gathered in the Great Hall of Stars. Representatives from 50 species sat in their floating chairs, wings, scales, or fur, glinting under the blue lights. They had met many times before, but this meeting was different. The galaxy was nervous. Something strange was happening in the outer colonies. Fleets were disappearing, merchant convoys, pirate raiders. Even a military patrol of the Koran Empire, known for their ruthless ships, had gone silent. Not a distress signal, not a fragment of wreckage, nothing but silence. The chairman, an insectoid being called Vector, raised his thin claws. "Honored members," he said, his clicking voice echoing. "We face a mystery. Colonies on the edge of Orion Arm report entire fleets gone without trace. At first, we believed it was mechanical failure or storms in hyperspace. But now, many fleets are lost. Something hunts them." The word hunts made the hall shiver. The Tellar ambassador, a scaled reptile with golden eyes, hissed, "No hunter is this clever. No predator can erase ships without leaving wreckage." From the shadows, the Yulvan delegate, a soft-skinned telepathic race, spoke softly. "Perhaps a new species. A predator not yet known to us. Something that hides between stars." Arguments filled the hall. Some believed it was a natural disaster. Others believed in pirates with stolen advanced weapons, but no one had proof. Finally, a scout ship returned from the outer rim. The crew had traced energy trails of one of the vanished fleets. The path led to a small blue planet orbiting a yellow star. The scout captain, a bird-like avian, delivered the report. "This planet is called Earth. The inhabitants are bipedal mammals. Technology level, middle-class spacefaring. No empire, no colonies, no fleets of note. Their warships are few, and their designs are crude compared to ours. They cannot be the hunters we seek." Relief washed over the council. If the mysterious disappearances came from a weak world, there was nothing to fear. Perhaps the missing fleets had simply wandered too close to a black hole, yet Vector was not convinced. "We must be certain. Send observers. Watch these humans. If they are innocent, we move on. If not..." His mandibles clicked. "We end them." On Earth, people lived unaware of the Council's whispers. Cities glowed. Spaceports launched. Shuttles and small colonies on Mars and the Moon worked to expand humanity's reach. Humanity was young among the stars, but it had already learned to defend itself. The United Earth Fleet was not large. Its ships were old, patched together from scraps, bought or stolen technology, and human invention. Other species would laugh at the designs: missile-heavy destroyers, railgun cruisers, carriers with swarms of drones. Nothing elegant, nothing advanced. But they were practical, brutal, deadly. The aliens did not know that Earth had a history longer and bloodier than most empires. Humanity had hunted for millions of years, not for food alone, but for sport, for survival, for dominance. Wolves, lions, mammoths, each had once tested humans, and each had been brought down by cunning and teamwork. Even now in the stars, humans carried the same instincts. The first sign came when a pirate fleet tried to raid Earth's outer colonies. The pirates were a mixed band of alien mercenaries hungry for resources. They expected an easy kill. The human colony of Titan had only one orbital station. A small fleet docked nearby. The pirates charged with confidence, then everything went wrong. The humans did not rush to meet them. Instead, they hid their smaller ships in Titan's thick methane clouds. The pirates searched, scanners active, but found nothing. Then missiles struck from the dark. One pirate frigate exploded before alarms even sounded. The raiders panicked. They fired blindly into the clouds, but the humans did not fight back directly. They waited. They circled. They struck again when the raiders tried to retreat, cutting off their escape. By the end, only 3 pirate ships limped away, broken and scarred. Their crews told the same story when they reached neutral ports. "The humans stalked us. They didn't fight. They hunted like predators, like shadows." The council dismissed the story at first. Pirates were known to exaggerate. But then came more reports. Another fleet, gone. A patrol, erased. Each time, whispers grew louder. The Yulvan delegate closed her eyes, listening to the scattered minds across the stars. "I feel it," she whispered. "Fear spreads, a fear of humans." The Telar hissed again. "Impossible. Their ships are weak. Their worlds are few. They cannot defeat trained fleets." But deep inside, the council began to doubt. For the first time, a thought entered their minds. What if the humans are not prey? What if they are hunters? Far away, aboard the human flagship Resolute, Admiral Marcus Kane stood before his officers. His uniform was plain, his voice steady, his eyes sharp as a hawk. "They will come for us," he said simply. "The council cannot ignore us forever. They think us weak. They think us easy prey. That is their mistake." He looked around the table. His captains, men and women hardened by years of conflict, nodded. Humanity had fought itself for centuries, wars on land, sea, air, and now space. While aliens debated in their halls, humans sharpened their claws. "We will not wait to be hunted," Kane said. "We will remind them of what we are. We are predators. We are the hunters of hunters." A silence filled the room, heavy with certainty. Humanity's fleet was not the biggest, not the most advanced, but it had something no alien could match: the will to hunt back. In the Great Hall of Stars, weeks later, another emergency session was called. This time it was not whispers. It was panic. A Koran battleship squadron had gone missing. Unlike pirates, unlike merchants, these were warships, pride of an empire. The Koran ambassador roared in fury, his voice shaking the chamber. 10 of our finest ships," he bellowed. "Gone. Not a scrap of metal remains. Who dares challenge us? Who dares strike the Koran Empire?" The scouts once again traced the trails. The answer was the same. Earth. Always Earth. The council hall grew silent. No one laughed this time. No one dismissed the humans as weak. For the first time, the galaxy began to see Earth not as prey, but as something else. Something dangerous. Something patient. Something that hunted in the dark. The pirate fleets were not the only ones to suffer. By now, rumors about humans spread like wildfire across spaceports and trade hubs. Merchants whispered that humans were strange. Weak bodies, short lives, but minds sharp as blades. Some called them dangerous. Others laughed, dismissing the stories as drunken lies. But pirates were different. Pirates smelled weakness like blood in the water. And when they heard about a small planet with few colonies, they saw opportunity. One of the largest mercenary groups in the Orion Arm, the Dravik Marauders, decided to test Earth for themselves. Their leader, Captain Saruk, a hulking reptilian with red scales and teeth like daggers, stood before his crew. "This Earth is undefended," Saruk growled. "Their ships are rust. Their colonies are small. We will take their resources. We will take their people. And when we are done, they will beg the Council for protection." The Marauders cheered. They had raided dozens of worlds before, and each raid was easy. Prey screamed, prey burned, prey died. To them, humans were nothing more than another weak species. The target was New Horizon, a human colony on the edge of the Sol system. It was small, with only 20,000 settlers and one orbital station. The Marauders arrived with 10 warships, 3 destroyers, 5 frigates, and 2 troop carriers. It was more than enough, they thought, to crush a young colony. Their ships descended like shadows, weapons armed. On the surface, colonists ran to shelters, alarms blaring. The orbital station sent a desperate message to Earth. "Incoming hostiles. 10 ships we cannot hold." But the message was not a cry of fear. It was bait. From the black void of space, 4 human ships emerged. Old hulls, scarred armor, mismatched designs. The largest was the cruiser Resolute, under Admiral Marcus Kane. Beside it flew the destroyer Iron Fang, the frigate Stalker, and the carrier Hunter's Pride, releasing swarms of drones. The Marauders laughed when they saw them. "Only 4 ships?" Sarek hissed. Pathetic. His crew joined in the laughter, mocking the humans, but the laughter ended quickly. The Resolute did not charge. It vanished behind the shadow of New Horizons' moon. The Iron Fang drifted into an asteroid belt nearby. The Stalker disappeared into dark space, engines cold. Only the Hunter's Pride remained visible, slowly releasing drones that looked like harmless debris. Sarek frowned. Where did they go? Why hide? Moments later, the first strike came. A Marauder frigate suddenly exploded, torn apart by a storm of railgun slugs. The attack came from the asteroid field Iron Fang. The Marauders turned their guns, firing blindly into the rocks. But before their shots could land, the Stalker appeared behind them, launching torpedoes. Another frigate vanished in fire. Sarek roared orders, but confusion spread. The humans did not fight like prey. They did not form a battle line. They did not stand and trade blows. They disappeared, reappeared, and struck with precision. "They are circling us," one Marauder officer cried. "They are playing with us," another shouted. And indeed, that was what it looked like. The drones from Hunter's Pride swarmed around, not attacking, but jamming sensors, filling screens with false signals. Ghosts of human ships appeared everywhere. The Marauders fired again, and again, but always at shadows. Then Resolute returned, emerging from behind the moon. It fired a full salvo of kinetic missiles. 2 more Marauder ships fell. The hunters had become the hunted. Sarek slammed his fist into the console. "Enough! Board them! Bring me human prisoners!" The troop carriers launched their boarding craft. Hundreds of alien raiders armed with plasma rifles stormed toward the Iron Fang. The humans allowed the first wave to dock. But inside the corridors, the raiders found darkness. The lights were cut. Strange sounds echoed, boots on metal, whispers in the shadows. Then came the attacks. Humans in black armor struck from ambush points using shotguns, blades, even their bare hands. Every corridor became a trap. The Marauders expected a straight fight. Instead, they found themselves stalked one by one. Some raiders fled screaming, claiming they were being hunted by ghosts. Others fought bravely but fell to human cunning, trip mines, choke points, sudden ambushes. By the time Sarek's second wave arrived, his first was gone. Not defeated in battle, but erased. On the bridge of the Resolute, Admiral Kane watched calmly. "They send more each time," his first officer said. "They still don't understand." "They will," Kane replied. His eyes were cold. "We are not prey, we are not victims, we are hunters, and hunters do not waste the kill." He gave the order. Human ships tightened the noose. Every escape path was cut off. The Marauders, once confident, now found themselves trapped. Their ships tried to break formation, but the humans anticipated every move. Missiles struck engines, disabling them. Railguns tore through hulls, leaving ships dead in space. One by one, the Marauders fell. At last, only Sarek's flagship remained. Its hull burned. Weapons gone, engines failing. Sarek sat in silence, his claws trembling. He had fought many species. He had hunted many worlds. But never had he seen prey like this. A transmission came from the Resolute. Admiral Kane appeared, on screen, his face stern. "You came to raid my people," Kane said. His voice was calm but sharp as a blade. "You thought us weak. You thought us prey, but you were wrong. You are the prey." Sarek could not answer. His throat was dry, his body shaking. He saw in Kane's eyes something he had never seen before in prey, a hunger. Not for food, not for survival, a hunger for the hunt itself. The screen went dark. A moment later, the Resolute fired its final salvo. Sarek's flagship vanished in a cloud of fire. Only 2 Marauder ships survived. The massacre. Broken, limping, their crews half dead, they fled into hyperspace. When they reached the nearest trade station, they told their story. "The humans." One survivor whispered, his scales pale with fear. "They stalked us. They waited in shadows. They let us run, then cut us down. They did not fight us, they hunted us." The listeners were silent, then whispers began to spread. The story traveled from station to station, from empire to empire. At first, many laughed. Humans, hunters, impossible. But the survivors' eyes told the truth. And when the bodies of dead marauders were found drifting in space, torn apart by precision fire, the laughter ended. Back in the Great Hall of Stars, the council gathered once again. Reports of the marauders' defeat reached every delegate. "This is no coincidence," said the Yulvan telepath, her voice shaking. "First pirates, now the marauders. Each time humans are involved, each time fleets vanish." The Talar ambassador slammed his claws. "Impossible. Humans are fragile. They are young. They do not have the strength to fight empires." But the Quran ambassador, who had already lost ships, leaned forward, his eyes cold. "Perhaps they do not need strength. Perhaps they use something else. Patience, strategy, cunning, like hunters." The hall grew silent. For the first time, the council began to see the truth. Humans were not weak. They were not prey. They were hunters of hunters. The galaxy trembled quietly, unaware of the storm that had begun. Whispers of human power spread from one star system to another. Fleets vanished. Colonies went silent. And survivors spoke only of the humans' cunning, their patience, and the way they hunted not for survival, but for dominance. For most alien empires, it was impossible to believe. Humans were small, young, and untested on a large scale. Many dismissed reports as exaggeration, but not all. The Varnok, an ancient species of apex hunters, could not ignore the humans. They were legendary across the galaxy, feared for their skill, strength, and their methodical approach to hunting. When they decided to investigate, they meant to make a final test, and perhaps to teach these humans a lesson that no prey could survive. Commander Thark, the Varnok hunt leader, studied the reports carefully. Each human encounter was puzzling. Fleets disappeared with surgical precision. Raiders were eliminated without trace, and even pirates claimed that humans were stalking hunters. "This is not possible," Thark growled, his claws tapping the table. "Humans are weak, fragile. They cannot match the strength of the Varnok, and yet—" He leaned back, eyes narrowing. "Yet they survive. They kill. And they do it with cunning no prey has ever shown," his council of lieutenants murmured among themselves. No Varnok had ever been challenged like this. Prey usually fled or begged, but humans did neither. They studied, waited, and struck at the perfect moment. Thark made his decision. "We will test them ourselves. We will hunt the hunters and see who survives." Meanwhile, in Earth orbit, Admiral Marcus Kane had already anticipated the attention of the galaxy's apex predators. "They will come," Kane said, pointing to the holographic star map. "And they will expect an easy fight. We will give them a lesson instead." His fleet was small compared to the Varnok armada. Only the Resolute, the Iron Fang, the Stalker, the Hunter's Pride, and a few support frigates. But the humans had something no alien could predict: strategy, patience, and a mind trained to hunt. "They will test us," Kane continued. "They will think they are hunting. But the hunter is already in the shadows." The Varnok armada arrived near the Sol system silently. Hundreds of sleek black ships, each equipped with sensors that could detect the smallest energy signature. They believed the humans would be easy prey. The galaxy had taught them that humans were weak, untested. They had never faced anything like this before. The first encounter was deliberate. A Varnok scout fleet approached the outer colonies, expecting to intimidate humanity. The humans waited. They did not respond. Not a single weapon fired. No ship moved. To the Varnok, it seemed as if the humans were hiding, afraid. But that was not fear. That was patience. Then the trap began. The Varnok scouts scanned the colonies, trying to locate human ships. They found nothing. Every signature was either fake or empty. But when the Varnok thought they had discovered a hidden ship, it would vanish as if it had never existed. A sudden wave of attacks hit them. Torpedoes launched from unexpected angles. disabling engines before shields could respond. Drone swarms jammed sensors, and the humans appeared where no Varnock expected them. The first scout ships were gone in minutes, not destroyed in a frontal attack, but outmaneuvered, outsmarted, hunted like prey in a jungle. Thark could not believe it. This cannot be. They are too small, too few. How do they coordinate so perfectly? Meanwhile, Admiral Kane had deployed the hunters, Pride in a bold maneuver. Hidden behind a dense asteroid belt, it released stealth drones that projected false images of large human fleets. The Varnock, seeing these phantoms, charged, and then the real humans struck. Missiles and railgun fire tore through the Varnock ships, from unexpected angles. The fleet tried to scatter, but every move was anticipated. Every route they took was blocked or sabotaged by human drones and clever traps in asteroid fields. The Varnock began to panic. They had hunted thousands of prey species, but never had they faced an opponent that used their own hunting instincts against them. On board the Resolute, Kane observed the chaos. His officers were calm. "They are following the patterns we expected," he said. "They believe they are hunting, but they are the prey." A tactical officer frowned. "Sir, they are clever. Faster than expected. We might lose some ships if they adapt." Kane shook his head. "No. They already lost before they knew the fight began. It is not about strength. It is about patience, foresight, and understanding. The prey. That is what humans do best." As the battle unfolded, a captured Varnock officer sent a desperate transmission. The humans intercepted it. They do not fight like normal prey," the Varnock officer hissed. "They study us. They plan. They wait, and then they strike. We are being hunted. We cannot survive this." Kane listened to the transmission and gave a small nod. Exactly. The Varnock tried a final tactic. They deployed their apex warriors, elite hunters that had never failed. These were massive, heavily armed ships designed to crush any opposition. They charged toward the human fleet in a perfect formation, intending to overwhelm by force. But humans had predicted this. The asteroid fields previously used as camouflage became traps. Mines, hidden railguns, and drone swarms tore the Varnock elite ships apart. Each attempt to flank was countered. Each advance was slowed. The Varnock began to realize something terrifying. These humans did not merely fight back. They hunted. And they were better at hunting than the Varnock themselves. Thark's claws shook. "Impossible," he growled. "No species can outhunt the Varnock. No species." And yet, the evidence was undeniable. His fleet was in ruins, his elite warriors destroyed, and his best tactics rendered useless. The humans had predicted, outmaneuvered, and destroyed them without facing overwhelming numbers. They had faced the apex hunters and survived. They had turned the hunters into prey. On board the Resolute, Kane prepared the final move. He did not need to destroy the entire fleet. One calculated strike could convince the Varnock that humans were beyond their understanding. Missiles and railguns fired in perfect synchrony, crippling the last remaining Varnock capital ships. Shields collapsed. Engines failed. Communication was cut. The Varnock warships drifted powerless, their pride destroyed. The humans did not celebrate. They observed quietly, as predators do after a hunt. The Varnock, humbled and terrified, finally transmitted a single message to the galaxy. "They are not prey. They are hunters. We are afraid." The transmission spread through hyperspace like wildfire. Every empire, every fleet, every intelligence agency received the words. The truth was undeniable. Humanity was no ordinary species. Humanity was the hunter of hunters. In the aftermath, Thark retreated, his fleet broken. His mind, for the first time in centuries, was filled with fear. They enjoy the hunt," he whispered to no one. "Not for food, not for survival, for dominance, for mastery. The humans are not to be challenged, not ever." Back on Earth, Kane looked at the reports coming in from across the battle zone. He turned to his officers. "The galaxy now knows a truth," he said. "Humans are not weak. Humans are not prey. They think they can hunt us, but we are the hunters. And when the next species comes, they will learn the same lesson." He gazed at the stars, each one a potential enemy, each one a challenge, and each one a hunt waiting to be turned. In the quiet corridors of the Resolute, the humans understood the moment they had reached. They were no longer just survivors. They were apex predators of the galaxy. And nothing, not fleets, not empires, not even legends could match the cunning of humanity. The galaxy would never forget this turning point. The galaxy had learned the truth. Humans were not weak. They were hunters, apex predators. The whispers that had once been dismissed as exaggeration now became warnings. Fleets that once roamed the stars with pride now trembled at the thought of encountering Earth's defenders. But the Council of Races refused to accept the truth. The human fleet was small, the empires reasoned. Perhaps luck had aided them. Perhaps the Varnock had underestimated them. To maintain control, the Council needed to act. They would strike together, with overwhelming force. A coalition was formed. Hundreds of fleets gathered near the edge of the Sol system. Varnock survivors, Corran warships, Telar cruisers, and mercenaries from other species. Each fleet carried weapons capable of obliterating Earth's colonies in a single strike. Commanders believed this would finally put humans in their place. But humans were ready. Admiral Marcus Kane studied the coalition's movements on the Resolute. His officers hovered over star maps, plotting defenses, anticipating attacks. They did not panic. They did not fear the size of the enemy. They had faced the apex hunters before. They knew that strategy, patience, and cunning could overcome sheer numbers. Kane's voice was calm but carried authority. They think strength alone can win. They will learn that brains, planning, and patience matter more than fleets. We are not just surviving. We are hunting. The first clash came at the edge of the Sol system. The alien coalition believed humans would flee, retreating to the inner planets to hide. Instead, the humans split their forces. Destroyers darted through asteroid belts while stealth frigates moved unseen near the sun's glare. The Hunter's Pride released drones designed to jam sensors, confuse targeting systems, and create phantom fleets. The Iron Fang and Stalker acted as bait, drawing parts of the coalition into traps. The coalition fell for it immediately. Hundreds of warships moved recklessly, convinced the humans were cornered. Then the ambush began. Missiles struck from angles no alien could anticipate. Railguns tore through hulls with precision fire. Drone swarms infiltrated ships, causing explosions and chaos. Human ships disappeared into asteroid belts, only to reappear behind enemy lines. The aliens had never faced an opponent like this. Their tactics, honed over centuries, were useless. Every move they made had been predicted, every weakness exploited. On board the flagship Resolute, Kane watched the chaos. He remained calm. "Remember," he told his captains, "we are not just fighting. We are hunting. Every ship, every pilot, every drone knows what to do. We wait. We strike. We survive." The alien coalition attempted a bold strategy. They deployed massive dreadnoughts designed to crush human resistance in one strike. Their plan was simple: force humans into a frontal battle, destroy them quickly, and end the fight. But Kane had anticipated this. He had used the inner planets as bait. Human mines, hidden turrets, and trap corridors awaited the dreadnoughts. When the alien fleet advanced, the traps activated simultaneously. Mines tore through engines, laser grids shredded armor, and human railgun strikes disabled the lead dreadnought before it could reach the main fleet. The coalition faltered. Their attack, once overwhelming, became chaotic. Ships collided, shields overloaded, and confusion spread. Meanwhile, the Varnock survivors observed with horror. They had fought humans before. They had believed themselves invincible. Now they realized the humans were not only strong, they were masters of strategy. Commander Thark could barely believe it. "They do not fight to survive," he muttered. "They fight to dominate, to control. They anticipate every move, every decision, every mistake we make. They turn it against us." Even the Koran, known for their pride and strength, felt panic creeping in. Their fleets had been shattered. Their weapons were still powerful, but their confidence had been destroyed. The humans had proven that size, speed, and raw firepower were meaningless without cunning and planning. The battle raged across the asteroid belts and orbital zones near Mars and Jupiter. Human ships moved like predators, striking only when the moment was right. Coalition ships tried to retreat only to be ambushed by stealth frigates and hidden human mines. Dreadnoughts fired blindly into empty space, mistaking decoys for real targets. Every move of the humans was calculated. Every strike was precise. And through it all, the humans never panicked. They observed, adapted, and used every advantage the environment provided. On Earth, civilians watched from safe stations, unaware of the full scale of the battle. They saw flashes of light in orbit, explosions that turned the night sky into fire, and ships maneuvering with precision beyond imagination. Yet, despite the chaos, humans remained calm. They understood the rules of the hunt. Prey was to be studied, weaknesses exploited, and victory achieved without unnecessary risk. Admiral Kane received a transmission from the Council Coalition. The alien delegates demanded surrender. "They outnumber you," the Varnock voice said. "Surrender now or be destroyed." Kane looked at his officers. "Tell them this," he said. "We do not surrender. We hunt. And if they wish to survive, they will flee." The message went out across the coalition. Silence followed, then confusion. No alien race had ever received such a reply. They had expected fear. They had expected compliance. Instead, they found certainty. As the day turned to night across the inner planets, the humans set their final traps. Massive asteroid fields, previously mined, were aligned to funnel the enemy fleets into narrow corridors. The humans used stealth drones to simulate a much larger fleet, drawing the aliens into confined spaces. When the aliens entered the traps, human fire rained down. Capital ships were disabled, cruisers were destroyed, and frigates vanished without trace. The coalition's fleets began to collapse. Chaos spread. Command structures broke down. The Varnock watched in horror as their fleet, once proud and confident, was reduced to scattered, desperate ships. Finally, Thark sent a desperate transmission to the Council. "They are not just hunters. They are masters. Every move we make is anticipated. Every weakness exploited. We cannot win. We are afraid." The message spread instantly. Every race in the galaxy received it. Fear replaced arrogance. Doubt replaced confidence. The humans were no longer just a threat, they were a reckoning. Admiral Kane did not celebrate. The humans had achieved victory, but they knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was watching. Every empire, every fleet, every species would come to understand the truth sooner or later. Humans were predators unlike any others. Kane turned to his captains. "They will come again," he said. "The Council will not stop. They will send stronger fleets, they will send new hunters, and each time they will make the same mistake. They think we are prey. They think we are weak. They are wrong." A tactical officer asked, "Sir, what if they bring everything they have? Entire empires?" Kane smiled coldly. "Then we hunt them all." The battle was over, but the galaxy had changed forever. Fleets no longer moved confidently through space. Colonies reinforced defenses. Warships became wary. Every species now knew one undeniable fact. Humans were not to be underestimated. They were hunters of hunters, apex predators in a galaxy that had never seen their equal. In the quiet aftermath aboard the Resolute, Kane stood alone on the observation deck, gazing at the stars. Each point of light represented a challenge, a threat or prey, and humanity had already learned the rules of the hunt: patience, observation, precision, and when the time came, absolute dominance. The galaxy would tremble again and again, and humans would continue to hunt never stopping, never faltering, always moving forward. The Council of Races had underestimated them, and it would cost them dearly. The galaxy held its breath. Every species that had ever underestimated humans now watched from afar. Communications blacked out, fleets scattered, and even the most confident empires trembled. For decades, humans had been dismissed as weak, primitive, and insignificant. But the events of the past months had shattered that illusion. Humanity had proven it was more than survival. It was mastery, cunning, and raw determination. Admiral Marcus Kane knew the Council of Races would not allow humans to remain unchallenged. Every empire capable of assembling fleets had begun converging on the Sol system, hoping to end the human threat once and for all. Kane's mind, calm as always, considered every possible scenario. He knew the galaxy underestimated humans because it failed to understand one truth: humans hunted differently. They studied, waited, and struck with precision. They did not just fight, they orchestrated victory. The coalition of alien empires arrived. Hundreds of warships, massive dreadnoughts, and elite hunting vessels gathered near the outer edge of the Sol system. They believed that sheer numbers would crush the humans. They believed that overwhelming firepower would end the threat. But humans had anticipated this. Every planet, every asteroid belt, every moon of the Sol system had been prepared. Mines, railguns, stealth drones, and hidden bases waited silently. Humanity's fleet, small but lethal, had positioned itself to maximize every advantage. Admiral Kane addressed his captains on the bridge of the Resolute. "They think we will run. They think we will be afraid. They are wrong," Kane said. "This is not defense. This is the hunt. And we will remind the galaxy why humans are feared." His officers nodded, their eyes sharp and confident. Every human pilot, every engineer, and every commander understood the plan. They were not merely fighting, they were hunting apex predators across the stars. The first wave of alien ships entered the Sol system. Massive dreadnoughts fired their weapons indiscriminately, expecting to break human defenses with sheer power. But the humans did not fight in predictable ways. Destroyers darted among asteroids, frigates moved unseen near the glare of the sun, and drones created phantom fleets to confuse sensors. As the alien fleet advanced, human torpedoes struck from impossible angles. Railgun fire tore through shields, disabling engines and weapons. Mines exploded beneath capital ships, crippling them before the aliens could react. Every move the coalition made had already been anticipated. Every maneuver led them deeper into traps. Ships that had once prided themselves on speed and firepower now drifted uselessly through space, crippled by humans who seemed to be everywhere at once. Commander Thark of the Varnock watched from his bridge, disbelief turning into horror. "They are not prey," he muttered. "They do not run. They do not fear. They anticipate everything. We are being hunted, and we do not even know how to fight back." Thark had faced countless species, each claiming to be strong. Each had fallen easily to the Varnock. But humans were different. They were predators in every sense, and their methods were beyond anything the galaxy had seen. The Varnock warships began to fall. One by one, dreadnoughts were disabled. Cruisers vanished in fire. Elite fighters were outmaneuvered and destroyed. Panic spread through the coalition. What had been confidence now turned to fear. On Earth, civilians watched the battle unfold from safe orbital stations. Bright flashes lit the sky as human forces struck. Small groups of ships appeared from nowhere, attacking massive alien vessels. Explosions tore through warships, leaving debris scattered across space. And yet, humanity remained calm. There was no chaos aboard human ships, only purpose. Kane gave orders with precision. Every strike, every maneuver was part of a plan. Alien fleets were lured into narrow corridors guided by mines and stealth drones. Ships that tried to escape found themselves cut off, trapped in ambushes that left no chance for survival. "We do not kill recklessly," Kane told his officers. "We hunt, we observe, we strike when it matters most." The alien coalition attempted one final tactic, a direct assault on the inner planets, hoping to force humans into a desperate fight. Massive fleets moved in unison, firing thousands of missiles and energy weapons at Mars, Earth, and the Moon. But the humans were ready. Surface defenses, orbital platforms, and hidden railguns tore the assault apart. Ships attempting to land were ambushed by stealth fighters. Missiles were intercepted by drones, and massive explosions destroyed entire alien formations. Even the most confident alien commanders realized that humans were not merely defending. They were controlling the battlefield. The Sol system had become a trap, and the humans were the hunters guiding every strike. In the middle of the chaos, Kane ordered the final maneuver. The human fleet, small but lethal, gathered at a strategic point near Jupiter. Hidden behind asteroids and planet-sized debris, they awaited the coalition's capital ships. As the alien fleet moved into the trap, human destroyers and frigates emerged from every angle. Railguns, missiles, and torpedoes struck simultaneously. Elite human pilots weaved between enemy fire, striking critical points with deadly precision. The coalition's flagship, a massive dreadnought, erupted in fire and debris. Panic spread through the remaining ships. Without their command structure, coordination collapsed. The alien fleet scattered, running blindly into more human traps. By the time the battle ended, the alien coalition was shattered. Hundreds of ships destroyed, thousands of aliens dead or captured, their pride crushed, their confidence destroyed. Thark, surviving only by retreating into hyperspace, transmitted a message to the Council. They are not just hunters. They are apex predators. They are beyond anything we have faced. We are afraid. The transmission spread across the galaxy. Every species, every fleet, every empire received the chilling truth. Humans were no longer prey. They were hunters of hunters, apex predators whose reach extended across the stars. For the first time in recorded history, the galaxy understood the moment when humans revealed their true power. On the Resolute, Kane watched the remnants of the alien fleet retreat. He turned to his officers. "They will regroup," he said. "They will come back with more fleets, stronger weapons, smarter tactics, but they will make the same mistake. They think they are hunting. They think we are prey. And every time, they will be wrong." The officers nodded. Humanity had survived, but they knew this was not the end. It was only the beginning of their legend. Kane gazed at the stars. Each point of light represented a potential challenge, a possible enemy, a future hunt. And humanity would be ready. Every fleet, every pilot, every strategy had been forged in the fires of battle. "They will remember this," Kane whispered. "They will remember the moment humans became the hunters they never expected." Back on Earth, the Council of Races held emergency sessions. The surviving alien delegates were pale with fear. Generals argued, scientists calculated, and politicians panicked. Humans had proven something no one could deny. They were not to be underestimated. Reports spread across the galaxy. Fleets shattered, empires humiliated, legends of human cunning and precision that no race had ever witnessed. Whispers became warnings. The name Earth now carried fear. The humans had not only defended themselves, they had set a standard. The galaxy understood a simple truth. To challenge humanity was to invite destruction. In the quiet moments after battle, Kane addressed his fleet. "This is our legacy," he said. "Not just that we survived, but that we proved our strength. The galaxy will know humans are hunters, apex predators, and they are patient, precise, and relentless." The fleet cheered quietly, not in arrogance but in understanding. They had fought together, planned together, and triumphed together. Humanity's legend had begun. Across the stars, alien fleets regrouped, but they did so with caution. Humans had shown them the cost of underestimating an apex predator, and every empire, every species would remember the moment aliens realized humans were the galaxy's most feared hunters. As Earth rotated silently under the sun, humanity prepared for the future. More challenges would come. More fleets would arrive. But the galaxy had learned one undeniable truth. Never mistake silence for weakness. Never underestimate a hunter, and never challenge humans, unless you are ready to become their prey. Stars were quiet again, but only for a moment. Humanity's hunt had only begun.